WWE are in talks with Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania. Plus, a major Raw star is taking time off. And a gimmick match is returning for NXT Battleground. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. Turki Al-Sheikh, the chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, has been speaking this week to a couple of outlets regarding the relationship with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and WWE. He told ESPN's Mike Coppinger about their current deal with WWE, which was a 10-year deal that they signed, in which they would have 2 premium live events per year.
Yes.
And we've seen that relationship develop over the last decade in the sense that it started as... Well, it's not even a decade, to be fair.
Yeah, not yet.
Not even a decade, but in the years that this deal has been taking place, we've seen it develop from sort of these standalone shows that were non-canonical,
yes, yeah,
to being more part of the storylines, to becoming like the part of the major pay-per-view calendar with like Elimination Chamber going over there and stuff like that. Was it Elimination Chamber that was over there?
Elimination Chamber was there.
It was, phew. And it looks as if it's going to continue that way. Al-Sheikh stated in an interview with ESPN that there will be an enhancement to Saudi Arabia's agreement with WWE being announced soon. Also speaking to Ariel Helwani on the MMA Hour, Al-Sheikh stated that Saudi Arabia is currently talking with WWE about bringing in WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble. Al-Sheikh said, "We are talking in the future about WrestleMania and Royal Rumble. We're talking around 2026, 2027. So these would be, we've spoke a few times about how WWE are doing more events outside of America, and it seemed when we heard from Nick Khan, the plan was going to be that a lot of the B shows would go to larger venues and stadiums and stuff around the world, but the main events would stay in America. Obviously, a few weeks back we had the mayor of London pushing for WrestleMania, in which Triple H went, "Hey, let's talk." But then that, despite the fact that we'd have those conversations that said that they would stay stateside, money talks though.
Money talk. Do you think that was like some sort of, and this is me just speculation station right now, choo, but do you think that was almost like incentivized other countries when Nick Khan was like, we are keeping these big ones here in North America, that's where we want to keep them. And then that's kind of like incentivized other countries to be like, well, actually, no, we'll put our hands in our pockets to get some of these huge events because like all in all, that's going to make so much revenue in the long run anyway. So perhaps that was something that kind of, just like triggered other countries to be like, no, we will pay to have some like a huge spectacle like this.
Your train into the speculation station has arrived on time. We don't even need a speculation rail replacement bus. You are on time. I think that's exactly what it is. By them saying WrestleMania's off the table, everybody went, "No, it's a bag of money." Of course it was. That's what this is going to be.
Yeah.
No confirmation, of course, yet whether or not they WrestleMania and all the Royal Rumble will go to Saudi Arabia. That's something we won't know for a little while. They've only just announced Las Vegas, for goodness sake, for next year. But it's certainly one that we will keep an eye on at cultaholic.com. Meanwhile, we're sending our best to a Raw star who's taking a little bit of break from things.
Yeah, Asuka has recently been pulled from numerous live events as well as from the Queen of the Ring tournament, with reports citing a knee injury as the reason. Now, on a YouTube channel, Kana-chan TV, Asuka talked about it and she said, "After the backlash of my European tour, I had to take a break to treat my knee that has been hurting for a while. My partners Kyrie and Dakota helped me a lot during this tour as I could not move at my best. I'm very grateful to both of them." She ends the video just saying, "See you soon." So it looks like she's going away to get that leg seen to, bless her, or the knee.
In a position where, as a result of being a part of Damage Control, you can take some time off the wheel and the momentum is there waiting for you when you come back.
Absolutely.
And best wishes to Asuka. I think as a singles competitor, she's particularly excellent. I think as part of a team, she's been able to work through this injury for a while.
And do so in such a manner where I feel like it was almost unnoticeable, at least to me, because she's just that good and I guess just that professional as well to just like power through and get things done. More power to Asuka. She's brilliant.
We've got an update for you on a story that we talked about a few weeks ago regarding AEW getting a warning from the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission. This is following a match that featured Nyla Rose in December of last year, it taking place in the States. Now, the commission said that by having Nyla Rose, who is a transgender woman, competing against women, it contravened state regulations around intergender matches. WrestleNomics report that records obtained by them show that the Oklahoma State Athletic Commission told AEW in January that the governing body was considering a rule change that would allow transgender wrestlers to participate in matches in the state. Now, the records obtained through a public record request show that Commission Administrator Jim Miller did notify AEW SVP Chris Harrington on January the 4th of the violation of the rules, but said the Commission is currently in discussion to possibly change this rule. It is determined by the Commission that the rule should be changed. It will have to go through the legislative process for rulemaking if it does, and it would not be in effect until July of 2024. Miller has since retired from his position as the Commission Administrator, and that role is now held by Diana Fletcher. And WrestleNomics approached Ms. Fletcher about the possibility of changing the rules, and the response they got was that Ms. Fletcher does not wish to comment at this time, and an agenda for the next meeting, which is on July the 10th, will be made available to the public soon. So we could see whether or not this is as a result of public pressure or relatively just a change, because the world has changed a lot since those rules were put in place.
Exactly. It just seemed like a very outdated rule to be in place in the...
Archaic.
Yeah, for sure. It just seemed, regressive and just outdated.
Well, the fact that there's something that we're going to be talking about, I think, is a really interesting one to have. And it's one that we'll keep you updated on as well at Cultaholic.com. Right, they've taped NXT for next week because obviously everybody's off to Saudi Arabia for King and Queen of the Ring. We've got a couple of notes on what happens on next week's show. Now, obviously, not everybody wants to have the wrestling spoilt for them.
Especially not the NXT.
Especially not the NXT.
Come on now.
It's a good old time. But if you're not that worried about that sort of thing, you can stick around from here. If you don't want it spoilt, this is the part of the bit where we say to you, Keys.
Love you, bye.
NXT Battleground is on the horizon, and we're building towards it in big fashion, aren't we, sir?
We are, because Robert Stone returned, everybody. He confronted Lexus King in the ring before revealing the wrestler he'll now be representing, Dante Chen. Chen then proceeded to defeat Lexus King in single action.
Is this a bad sign for Lexus King? I guess it'll depend on the nature of how he loses.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited for Dante Chen, though, someone who's been doing like the NXT live events and stuff for a long time, NXT Level Up, sort of just like, honing his craft, I guess, to get to a point. And I think Robert Stone is a good person. If Dante Chen's not the best on the mic, then Robert Stone is the best person I feel like to put him with. Because if he's got the in-ring stuff, then that's fine. But Robert Stone.
Well, that's the whole premise of having a manager, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you can't, if the verbal stuff isn't your forte, it is certainly Robert's forte. You could say it's his 5-tay. So having him there, I think, is a really good shout. What else went down?
Gallus had a busy week as well. So not only did Joe Coffey and Wesley both earn a match with Herb Femi for the North American title, but Gallus attacked NXT champ Trick Willie
Barry,
setting up a future title match. Their heads are growing so large after training The Rock for WrestleMania.
I'm so disappointed in you, Barry.
Disgusting behavior. Well, that wasn't all, everybody, all right, because after Lola Vice and Shayna Baszler lost a tag match to Carmen Petrovic and Natalia, Lola turned on Shayna Baszler. Now, Baszler got back up and choked Lola out. This then led to NXT GM Ava making a match between the two official for NXT Battleground, and Baszler upgrading it to an NXT Underground match. Hey, we've got no ropes. Let's batter each other even more.
That's the rules. We've not long had one, admittedly. It was at Spring Break in night 2 that we had an NXT Underground match. But the fact that Battleground is coming from the UFC Apex.
That kind of makes sense, doesn't it, there?
Of course it does. I know, obviously you think octagon rather than no ropes, but I think that kind of environment lends itself to doing something that is a bit different to the wrestling.
Yeah.
And I think having the Battleground match at the UFC, the Underground match at the UFC Apex at Battleground, I think is a nice thing to do.
With Shayna Baszler as well.
With Shayna Baszler!
And Lola Vice, who's great too. Those two, I hope they actually like do a really good match for this, because it'll be very, very fun to see them go at it.
It's what a time we live in that Shayna Baszler is about to have a no-rope Bloodsport-esque match in a UFC ring.
It's pretty cool.
On a WWE event.
It's pretty cool.
It is the wildest of wrestling times that we currently live in, and we thank you for joining us for them. For the latest wrestling news throughout the day, you can check out cultaholic.com. Keys.
I love you, bye.